What up, what up, what up? It's your boy, Cardinal Red, and we back for some more of that Ali Land boxing talk, people. And today we talking Manny Pacquiao versus Spence or Garcia. Who you picking? Alright, y'all. I just wanted to drop my little 2 cents on who I would prefer Pacquiao to fight next. If this is the passing of the torch fight, and for what reason I pick either fighter, Spence or Garcia. I guess we could do a little breakdown first. When it comes to Spence, I think when you match Spence up against Pacquiao, it's more of a matchup of power versus speed, and I would say awkward boxing versus come forward style boxing. You know, you got the little guy versus the big guy, however you want to put it. But there are a lot of clashes of style in that fight, you know, which I really like clashes of style when it comes to boxing, because it makes for dynamic fights, you know, and it makes for unpredictable fights, because anything can happen in those type of fights. When you match these two guys up, you know, a lot of people will say Spence outmatches Pacquiao. You know, he's younger, he's a taller fighter, he's a heavier fighter, maybe slightly more heavy-handed. I wouldn't say Spence's power, you know, totally outranks Pacquiao's power, but they are. You know, their size differences are slightly dramatic. You know, when you put Spence next to Pacquiao, you know, it's like putting Pacquiao next to a Margarito or a Cotto or a Canelo. You know, because Spence, he already outweighs most welterweights, even your Keith Thurmans. He's a little bigger than Thurman. He's a little bigger than Porter. You know, actually he's much bigger than Porter, because Porter's a little shorter. And, you know, he matches up with guys like Crawford, you know, as far as height and length, and Mayweather, and like I said, Canelo, Margarito, Cotto, De La Hoya, any of those type of guys, those longer, slightly more heavy welterweights. So when you throw all that in, and then you put them up against what everybody knows Pacquiao's capable of doing, I feel like even at 40 years of age, Pacquiao still has enough to beat Spence. I think he still has enough power. I think he still has enough skill set and quickness to pull off a victory. Not saying Spence doesn't have the power to knock Manny Pacquiao out with one shot, which he might, and he might surely have that type of power. So this is a very dangerous, yet very fan-friendly fight. Although the dollars are not as big as some of these other super fights that could possibly happen surrounding Pacquiao, extremely fan-friendly fight, man. And I think a lot of people would enjoy to watch Manny Pacquiao take on Errol Spence. Now, when you match him up against Mikey Garcia, you know, I think that's more of a matchup of speed versus speed. I think people are doubting Mikey Garcia's speed. I think that's the one dynamic that's gonna really show itself in this Errol Spence versus Mikey Garcia fight. I think people are gonna be surprised how fast Mikey Garcia is, and the resemblance in the amount of punches thrown maybe that Manny Pacquiao used to do. Maybe not as many, but I think the punch count is going to be really high in this fight on the side of Mikey Garcia. I think that's the only way for him to really be able to break down Errol Spence and maybe not knock him out, but possibly escape with a points victory. If he can outpoint Spence by throwing a lot of combinations, you know, and just keeping his arms moving and his legs moving the whole fight, I think that the speed could really play a big factor in that fight. And when you think about that, man, you got to think, if it's speed versus speed, You know, Mikey Garcia is moving up, so he's trying to carry that whatever power he had at 130, 135 up to 147. It's a big jump for him, you know what I'm saying? Manny Pacquiao inched his way up. Mikey Garcia is jumping up in weight. He's not inching his way up in weight. He's not going from 130 to 135 to 140 to 147. He's going straight from to 147. So when you think about Mikey Garcia versus Manny Pacquiao, I think this is really going to be a matchup of speed. Now, whose style of speed reigns supreme is going to be the question. Will it be Manny Pacquiao's foot speed versus Mikey Garcia's foot speed? Or will it be Manny Pacquiao's hand speed versus Mikey Garcia's hand speed? Will it be Manny Pacquiao's speed of defense versus Mikey Garcia's speed of defense? Or will it be the speed of boxing knowledge of Manny Pacquiao and the speed of boxing knowledge versus Mikey Garcia? Who's going to have the most speed in that fight? I think that plays a big role. I don't see that being a power matchup. I see a lot of punches getting thrown in that fight, and I see somebody getting stopped in that fight because the sizes are very similar. Both guys will be really easy to hit because their reaches are not, you know, they're not as off as a Pacquiao versus Spence. You know, I don't believe that Mikey Garcia's reach is that much longer than Pacquiao. He might actually be around the same amount. I'll have to look that up, and I don't want to waste everybody's time right now looking up the statistics. But I think that one will come down to foot speed. I really think that one will come down to foot speed because Manny Pacquiao has incredible footwork, and he's able to turn that footwork into extremely awkward angles and making guys fight at extremely awkward angles. So I really think that fight comes out into a speed fight. So when you pick who you want to fight Pacquiao next, if this truly is the passing of the torch fight, win or lose for Pacquiao, I think you have to pick it based off, do I want to see him fight a power fighter, you know, a big guy, or do I want to see him fight a speedy guy like Mikey Garcia? Do I want to see him fight a power guy like Spence, or do I want to see him fight a speedy guy like Garcia? And me personally, I like both guys, but if I have to make a pick on this one, I would love to see the Mikey Garcia fight. And I'm going to give my reason. I feel like if Mikey wins, although he's trying to move up and you know, be a name at 147, I would really like to see that fight happen. Now, here's if Mikey wins versus Errol Spence, it throws a whole nother monkey wrench in everything. But if he loses with dignity, puts up a great fight, I would still like to see Mikey Garcia fight Manny Pacquiao next. And for one reason and one reason only, because I would like to see the fight at 130 pounds. I believe that's the two belts that Mikey Garcia holds. I'm not sure if he still holds those belts because he's moving up. They might have stripped him of those belts, but I believe he still holds those belts. And if it was possible for them two guys to mix it up for Mikey Garcia's belts, and Manny Pacquiao able to get those belts and then be able to retire with those belts, plus a welterweight belt, I think that makes for an amazing retirement. I think that makes for some history, and I think that puts Pacquiao, you know, name, you know, just a step above everybody else's, because how many guys can say not only did they retire, but they retired conquering at 40 years old 2 weight classes, you know, to go in there and take out a guy at 147 pounds, Lucas Matisse, and then say I went in and I took care of a guy at 130 pounds, a champion, in Mikey Garcia, and I took his belts, and I beat Adrian Broner in in the middle of all that. So I mean, I just feel like that would be a great story. I'm not saying the Spence fight wouldn't be an amazing fight, but I think the Spence fight, I just feel like the Spence fight, man, I don't know, man. I don't know about that fight. Because of the danger of the fight, the dollars will have to be really high, man. I keep bringing up this Canelo fight, man, and I only bring that fight up because the dollars surrounding that fight would be so high that it would make it worth it for Pacquiao to maybe possibly lose. So if he actually did lose that fight, he would be paid so much that it wouldn't be a real loss. You know, at least he would be able to retire with a big pile of money. And since it wouldn't be for a belt, you know, it'd be at 155 pounds, a catch weight, he would still have his regular title belt. So he could still retire as a champion. I just feel like that's a great retirement fight. And if he's going to take the risk of fighting a Spence and you're not going to get the dollars, you might as well take the risk of fighting a Canelo and actually get the money out of it. It's just my personal opinion. Like I said, I picked Garcia out of the two only based off the fact that he holds those 130-pound belts. And I believe it's two of them. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I believe it's two of them that he holds. And I believe Lomachenko holds one, and Gervonta Davis might have the other one. I'm not sure. I have to look that up. But if you know that, leave it down in the comment section. Hit that like button for me. And please subscribe. If you know any homeless people, man, 1 minute in your life and some leftovers could really change your life. So give up a minute, change your life, man. If you want to be featured on Ali Land Boxing Talk, you got anything to do, contribute to the community, don't hesitate to hit me up in the community section, comment section, or you can shoot me an email, man. Or go check out Ali Land Boxing Talk on Facebook, man. I do have a Facebook group surrounding Ali Land Boxing Talk, so it's down in the description as well. We out of here.